with Larson.
Good morning. Welcome to New Day Northwest. I'm so excited. Let's take a look at Safeco Field from the King 5 roof cam. Excitement is building, of course, for tonight's Mariners home opener. King Felix Hernandez is on the mound for the 10th straight year, and Ichiro is back in right field. What do you think about that? That's pretty cool. We are told the game is nearly sold out, but if you've been waiting till the last minute, time is now to grab a seat. Please do it. Gates open at 4:30, and first pitch against the Cleveland Indians is just after 7. We posted full details on New Day's website, including the new entry procedures and new meals and snacks, because obviously eating is the second most important thing to the game. Go M's. First up today, how about getting ready for Easter brunch? Easter is this Sunday, so here with a delicious crustless quiche recipe. Perfect for the occasion is Cookin Canuck blogger Dara Mikowski. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So if you've been wondering why I have steam coming
yes,
up,
exactly. You're getting a facial at the same time.
So tell me a little bit about this recipe. This looks delicious, but without the crust, we get rid of a lot of the carbs and calories in this.
Exactly, and not only that, but it makes it so simple. I am not a great one with pastry myself, so in terms of making the crust, this eliminates all of that.
You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to do it.
And it's also great because you can make all of the filling part the night before.
Yeah.
Put everything together, slide it into the oven right before
So brunch or breakfast, it's done, and you can also make this however big you want if you've got a lot of people. So I noticed you're doing it in a regular pie plate.
Yes,
that's the way we're going to roll.
That's the way I always do it. One that's kind of deep enough, because when it bakes, it does actually puff up a little bit. It looks quite beautiful when it first comes out of the oven. It does.
Okay, so let's start with, I guess, the asparagus is going in.
Asparagus, and if people aren't familiar with asparagus, they always have that fibrous end right there, and the best way to get that off is to actually, it has a natural break in it.
So just break it.
You just break it, and it just naturally comes off right there in the middle.
So just hold either end, and where it pops is what you need to get rid of.
Exactly.
Awesome.
It makes it super simple. And then just cutting it into about 1-inch pieces, and then you want the asparagus to be a little more tender because it's not going to completely bake in the oven with the quiche. So we're going to blanch it in the boiling water for 1 to 2 minutes. Blanching just means that you are quickly cooking it. It's going to become tender very quickly. With the asparagus, that's... Do you like raw asparagus?
I do, actually. Sorry, I always snack while you're cooking. You called me out.
I did. With the asparagus that you're getting right now, the really, really skinny stuff probably needs just a minute. Stuff that's a little bit thicker, I would put it in for 2.
Is there a taste difference between the thicker and the thinner asparagus?
You know, I do find that sometimes the really thick stuff is, I don't prefer it as much.
It's too fibrous?
It's too fibrous. I don't like that. I like some of the tender stalks instead.
So we pop that in there.
You pop that in there. Once it's done, then you're going to drain it, and I would throw it into some ice water.
Because that stops the
cooking. Stops it from cooking, exactly. And then what we need to move on to is our eggs. Now, I'm making
one of
this.
These, the giant
Aren't
Pyrex.
they great? Because then it's got the spout. You can just pour afterwards.
And you can measure right in the thing. So what do you have?
It's
5
great.
eggs?
I've got 4 eggs, and then I'm going to do 4 egg whites. I've already got a few egg whites in there. It just makes it slightly less calorie if that's what you're looking for. If you want all just eggs,
you can do that.
You can do that. You
can
do 6 eggs.
Is it okay?
That's just fine. Over here? Yep. So you just separate your egg there. Okay. And then we're just going to whisk that up. Oh, and I've got just a little water that I'm putting in.
What does the water do?
It just extends it a little bit. You could also use milk, or you could use cream if you really wanted to go for that creamy. But since we're going for a slightly healthier version,
we're just lightening it up and giving a little more volume.
Now, my trick to this, cottage cheese is, I know, kind of odd, right? But cottage cheese is one of my ingredients that I love to throw in. I even use it to lighten things up like lasagna. Instead of ricotta, you throw it into the food processor and make it super light.
Sort of like yogurt for sour cream. You don't really know once it's blended with other things.
No one ever knows.
Did you use full fat or low fat, or what kind?
I used the low fat, so the 2%.
2%.
Yeah. And then a little bit of dried thyme. Okay, just about a teaspoon worth of dried thyme.
How easy this is. We don't even have to buy fresh herbs.
And then just season with some salt and pepper.
Okay.
And I do like to whisk it up a fair amount, which I won't do at the moment, but I like to break up the cottage cheese a little bit. And then it just gets poured in.
Now, where's our asparagus?
Okay, asparagus
That
is
goes
coming.
separately?
Here we go.
Look at her. Now, can I do any sort of vegetables I want if I have leftover things in the fridge? Toss it in or not?
I do everything with this. I love grated zucchini with Gouda or Gruyere. You could cook up some bacon and throw that in,
Some
sausage.
peppers, whatever you like.
And I do a fair bit of asparagus in there. I do a good like ½ pound. And then feta.
Oh.
And a little bit of saltiness.
Now, why don't you mix that in ahead of time? What happens this way?
Well, honestly, what ends up happening is I like a little bit of the browning on the top. So the feta kind of floats to the top, and you would think that the asparagus would sink, but it doesn't, as you can see in the finished quiche when we have it.
Beautiful.
It does, because it comes on top and makes a really pretty green decoration on top.
So that's super easy if you're doing it for brunch. You've got some mixed fruit.
Yeah, mixed fruit, which I do like a little lime juice. If you have some mint leaves, throw some mint leaves in there as well. Very simple. I made some whole wheat carrot muffins I substituted in yogurt and applesauce for the fat as well. And you never know.
So you don't have to feel guilty about this brunch. Tell us about your blog.
My blog is called Cookin Canuck because I am Canadian.
Thank you.
And I focus on healthy recipes. I've been doing it for about 9 years, so there are 1,500 plus recipes on there in every category that you can think of.
And what prompted you to cook in a lighter fashion?
About 5 years ago, I started cooking lighter and I started running a lot, and I lost about 30 pounds. And before that, I was doing a lot of desserts on my blog, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I needed to show my readers what I was eating, plus I didn't want to waste food either. So I was photographing and blogging what I was actually eating for our meals.
Because we can kind of take the journey with you.
Right.
And you do these substitutions. Give us some other examples of those, some substitutions that we might think of at home.
I do a lot of pureeing fruits or vegetables and putting them into pasta dishes, or there's my Canadian pasta dish.
Exactly.
Or into muffins or baked goods. So whether you're pureeing cauliflower or carrots or whatever it may be, and you can just slide some of those vegetables in there.
That's a good trick.
Which is great for young kids too, because parents, you know, young kids, of course, don't always love those things.
Or husbands who won't eat their vegetables.
Husbands,
so you can kind of slide it in there, but that's a great tip.
Right.
Can I have a quick bite?
Of course
See
you
how
can,
it is?
please.
You're sharing this recipe, right?
Yes, I am. That, I assume, will be on your site.
They're so tasty.
And the great thing is, too, you can cut it and then heat it up afterwards, too. Even the next day, we'll do that sometimes.
That is yummy. Thank you so much.
Thank
and it can be fresh out of the oven for your guests.
Right.
You can try all of this at home. We are going to post the Crustless Quiche recipe on New Day's website. In fact, I think it's already up, so we appreciate that very much.
Great.
Come
Thank
back
you,
and
Margaret.
cook with us again.
Will do.
Up next, another fun round of New Day Hot Topics with Power 93 Threes, Carla Marie and Anthony. We love them. We'll be back after this.
This New Day cooking segment brought to you by Ferguson Bath Kitchen and Lighting Gallery, powered by Electrolux.